Hello, my name is David McCallum, and welcome to my full spoilers No Time to Die review. Please like and subscribe. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with the positives. It was great to see Bond back on the big screen. It's been a long 6 years since Spectre, and I got a huge thrill seeing Bond back at the cinema. The movie's cinematography is excellent, with the locations beautifully shot. All of the actors put in a great performance. Daniel Craig never disappoints, and I was so glad that Lashana Lynch's 007 was nowhere near as annoying as the trailers had made out. I was so glad to see the DB5 back here and back in action. The Cooper scene was also fun, and Ana de Armas is stunning. Pity she wasn't used more in the film. Now the negatives. The film is too long and could easily have been edited down to much closer to the 2 hours than the 2 hours and 40 plus minutes. I don't understand why the trailers showed all of the action scenes. Usually the Bond movies hold something back for the film so that we get to enjoy the wow moment on the big screen. This was not done here. How can Bond think that Madeline was working for Blofeld? In the movie Spectre, Blofeld poisons her father, makes her watch his suicide, and then leaves her to die in the MI6 building just before it gets demolished. Did Bond forget all that? Felix's death was pointless. Logan was clearly a villain. Bond kills Blofeld by accident, his arch enemy. It was bad enough that they were still continuing with this foster brother thing. But Blofeld's death, like a lot in this movie, was really pointless. Using On Her Majesty's Secret Service music took me out of this movie and made me think of George Lazenby and Diana Rigg. Surely that wasn't the objective. Hans Zimmerman is very talented and should have given this movie its own musical identity. Rami Malek was underused and his death was also unsatisfying. Watching Bond beg was pretty tough to watch as well. I also never really understood Safin's motives in this movie. I don't think that was really clearly explained. And don't get me started on Blofeld watching his party through a bionic eye. Whose idea was that? And now we come to the most controversial part of the movie. Bond is killed. Bond dies at the end of this movie. Now, some people thought that was really sad. I looked around the cinema, there were some people obviously tearing up. I was just really pissed off. I don't want to go and watch a Bond movie where Bond dies. It doesn't do anything for me. Now, clearly, I'm slightly more invested than others in the Bond franchise, and I totally get that. I think people who are movie fans actually really enjoyed this film, and that I would never hate a Bond film. There's never been a really awful Bond film. And there was elements of this that I did really enjoy. I enjoyed M and Bond having their moments, and I thought there was some really nice touches in that as well. The MI6 regulars are always really good. And this is the thing about the future. Where do we go now? Because it's obviously going to be a hard reboot, which then means that all of those characters will have to be recast. Now, I know Judi Dench came back as M, when obviously Pierce Brosnan left the role and Daniel Craig came in. But that's Judi Dench. They're probably not going to do that again, which means we're going to lose all these talented actors, and I think that's quite sad. So what is the future for the franchise? Obviously, Amazon have now invested and they'll be wanting to make money. So they will be looking at ways to expand the franchise. They're not going to be content with just a film that's released every 3, 4, 5 years. That ain't going to cut it for them. So it'll be interesting to see what spin-offs or how they're actually going to try and get as much out of this franchise as possible. Going back to Bond's death, there's part of me almost thinks that Daniel Craig wanted his Bond to be killed in this so that Barbara Broccoli would finally leave him alone and then he wouldn't be able to come back and do any more Bonds. I feel that this is going back to No Time to Die. I think it's probably a better movie than Spectre, but I would mark it down because I just hated the ending. I just didn't see what that actually brought to it. Again, that's just my opinion. So I would give No Time to Die 6 out of 10. Again, these are just my opinions. Feel free to leave comments below. And again, don't give me a hard time. I'm just sharing my opinions as being a Bond fan. Okay, thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed that review, and please look out for more coming, because I do fancy going through the canon, as it were, and go through the earlier movies. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.